The husband always wanted to help when it came to taking care of their son. Now that his wife was getting ready for her first day back to work, he could take full responsibility. The wife left him a list of instructions on how to take care of their toddler, which he quickly dismissed, saying that he was under complete control. It wouldn't take long until he realized how wrong he was. Women and girls are usually in charge of taking care of children in most families. That shouldn't still be the case today, but sadly it is. It's pretty rare to find men who decide to take care of babies when they can just leave the task to the moms, daughters, and nannies. In these rare cases, men usually do a great job at watching the children, but mostly because they listen and follow clear instructions from the women in their lives. Frank Bateman's case was quite different though. When Frank and Chelsea got married, the man knew he'd found the love of his life. They got a cozy place in Tennessee and great jobs. After only 1 year together, Chelsea became pregnant with their first child, later named Josh. To Frank, a big family was his life dream. When he found out he would be a father, he was overwhelmed with joy. But he had no clue yet how much fatherhood would change his life. Frank's life had always been full of twists and turns. During his 30s, he served 5 tours in the military and started a career in architecture. Frank's wife had also lived quite the life. When the two met, she'd been trying her luck in the real estate world. As time passed, she had gradually made a name for herself in the local industry. The couple always supported each other in everything they did, but their time-consuming careers would threaten their son's well-being. When Josh was born, both Chelsea and Frank took some free time from their respective jobs to watch over the newborn baby. They wanted to give him all the support he needed in his first months of life. The road through pregnancy, delivery, and the first few months together were unlike anything the two had ever experienced in their life. As time passed, a reality the couple couldn't ignore was slowly looming closer. The time for the couple to return to work was approaching. The thought was scary, and the family knew they had to develop a plan to cope with the situation. Otherwise, they would lose their minds. Frank had the idea to ask one of their relatives to come and watch over Josh, but Chelsea reminded him that their families were busy with their own lives. They circled many ideas, landing on the one they'd considered since the problem was raised. The new parents considered hiring a nanny. But an unfortunate event involving a bad caregiver in the neighborhood scared the thought away. They didn't want to leave their child's life in someone else's hands. Then Frank had an idea. Since his job allowed him to spend a lot of time away from the office, he could work from home and take care of Josh while Chelsea was out working. That idea seemed fantastic on paper, but Frank would soon find out what a disastrous choice he made. The parents discussed the idea further and came up with a plan. Chelsea tried her best to explain everything there is to know about taking care of a baby to Frank. But he dismissed her, saying he had learned enough in the past 16 months. Chelsea didn't want to shake her husband's confidence, but she insisted on writing down a feeding and sleeping schedule for Frank to follow before leaving for work. It barely took 1 hour after she left for things to go crazy. Chelsea was gone already for around 40 minutes when Josh began crying uncontrollably. Worried about the baby, Frank quickly ran to his room and took him in his arms. He cradled and lulled him for a few moments, only to find out the baby's diaper was full. Frank put Josh down, thinking a diaper change would solve the problem. That was when he realized something wasn't quite going as planned. Even though he had always been around Chelsea when she changed Josh, Frank had never done it himself. He took out the diaper and stared bewildered at the mess, wishing he had paid more attention to his wife's instructions. He tried his best to remember her words. Before cleaning the baby, Frank needed to cover the diaper-changing surface with a disposable liner. He worked fast and was confident in his abilities, but things would go south regardless. Frank carried Josh to the bed quickly so he could get to changing his diaper. He wasn't even halfway through when the unexpected happened. Josh had been lying there smiling at him when he suddenly shot a pea spray onto his father's chest. He laughed as Frank jumped back, totally caught off guard by the assault. But such a harmless act would threaten to claim Josh's life. Frank hurried up to clean the pee with a wet wipe, but forgot that he'd left Josh in his soiled diaper on the bed. Although the dad did walk out of the room to clean himself, he forgot one integral rule Chelsea always talked about when it came to Josh. Never take your eyes off him when he is awake. Something urged Frank to turn around, and as he did, he caught Josh knee walking to the edge of the bed. Frank lunged for the baby, who was keen to see what was on the other side of the mammoth bed his dad had laid him on. Or perhaps he wanted to help Frank wipe off the pee as a sorry. Frank was still rushing to him when he tipped over the bed's edge. Frank's hand caught Josh right before he connected with the ground. The baby laughed, delighted at the little adventure. He cooed at his dad, his bright eyes gleaming with love. Frank's heart was pounding within him, his hold around Joshy's torso and head towing the line between being firm and gentle. But then he noticed another thing he had forgotten about. Frank's sight took in the mess Josh had made from the center of the bed to its edge. But he couldn't care less as his heart warmed with the relief of having caught him at the right moment. He didn't know what he would have done if his little angel got hurt. He told Chelsea about the situation when she came home. Although he changed Josh and cleaned their bedroom, he knew he'd forever listen and cherish his wife's advice.